when I was young, I used to have a dream of, someday owning a brand and taking it to SEMA and just really being a disruptor and just really, just telling because it's just so serious. It was just always so serious. My whole life, I would just knew about SEMA, and I just saw all these people, and just it was always about performance, and it was always about check out my paint, and it was always like I'm so cool, and I just really thought that it just really needed to be some sense of humor and some fun in it. So that's really what we're about. So yeah, why so serious? So I talked to Dennis. At Terraflex, and he was like, "We've got, 300 Gladiators sponsored or something." It was like it's crazy. I don't even have enough that like I can even send you a complete Gladiator kit. I'm just gonna send you part of one. So he did that, and we lifted it and figured it out, and had to make up some stuff, and that's another story for another time. But the whole time we're thinking, man, like, this thing looks amazing, and we're so stoked on our Gladiator, and it's super dope, and we're excited, and but I was always concerned about, man, there's just the back of my mind, there's going to be 300 Gladiators there, like it's going to be blown out. And so I made sure that I asked those guys, take the wheels, and when we get there, we'll look at it, the situation, and size it up.
Solid front axle truck, crazy gnarly speed and depth wobbles over 55 miles an hour. So we drove 16 hours through mountain pass roads at 50 miles an hour just so we didn't die. So getting out there was not an easy task in the first place.
Dude, we're getting speed wobbles, and this is so unsafe. And what do you do? What do you put in the? We would also, we'd talk about, the small wheels and this and that, and when we showed up, we were just kind of decided that's what we were going to roll, just to be different and to have fun. And I just could tell already it was just going to be disrupting, and it was going to be crazy. So it's like immediately, like, Joel from Auto Definition shows up, and he's just like,
well, I was there in the parking lot helping put it together.
It puts the grease on the threads.
It puts the grease on the spindle.
That's all that holds the wheel on.
I was kind of laughing the whole time, and I was just like, Kelly, what have you got me into this time? Like, I was kind of embarrassed that my Gladiator was parked next to it while it was, because that was the year of the Gladiators. Like, 2019 is when the Gladiator first appeared at SEMA. But then to show up, first year of the Gladiator, first year in SEMA, let's put a Gladiator on, like, what are they, 12s? Are they 12s? What, 12-inch spoked wheels?
like, oh my God, that's just terrible. And I get texts from him, and every 5 minutes, and it's just like, people are just, we didn't even get three wheels on, and it was already problematic. Like, people are just crazy. Then we roll it into the booth, and then I have other sponsors saying, you can't do this. Like, this, you must pull it out of your booth. This is terrible. And I was just like, oh, this is great. They don't do it. Like, this is awesome. Like, I thought, I thought a lot more people would have a better sense of humor about it.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. He came down, hit us up for putting 13s on the brand new Gladiator he just bought. We're like, you're out of your freaking mind, dude.
Thought it was pretty crazy.
He's definitely out there.
Gotta be kidding me. Heck yes. We were gonna get made fun of.
So, greatest marketing idea ever. No, but then we throw the wheels on and bring it to SEMA, and obviously it makes a huge statement. But it was mainly because of the idea of being different at SEMA, to kind of rehash that initial marketing idea that the team had created earlier, and it just really took off, with the publicity and the amount of eyes that saw it over at SEMA. But the whole concept kind of originated around just having fun and trying to be different and make a statement, and not necessarily piss off everyone in the industry, but just definitely be apart from what everyone else was doing. Because, as I mentioned, everyone just rooftop tent, 40-inch tires, lift kit, they all look the same. There was no difference on any vehicle at the SEMA show in 2019.
I really enjoyed when we got to jump in it for SEMA Ignite and roll with that, because it was just like mobs of people did not know what to, you see all these rad supercars and all these crazy things, and then here comes this woman down there. People did not get it. They were just tripping or laughing. It was just, but it got reactions. It got reactions the whole way. I mean, but it was so good because, I remember the end of 2020, I don't know, I was on some site, and it was probably most questionable build at SEMA 2019, and and I was just like, oh, it just really, it's like I could really die now. It was just so awesome. I was just so stoked that we actually accomplished, that was kind of what I set out to do, to just make people go, what the.
It looked absolutely horrible, and I was like, yes, this needs to go into SEMA. So that's the story.
So thinking about 2021 and what we were really going to do with the Gladiator, it was kind of like we'd gone with, such a small wheel. Maybe we'd go with the big wheel, but, thinking monster truck wheels are so expensive and played out, and we had different things. And I was on my way to Utah, and I saw a sprayer on the highway, and right away I was like, we'll do sprayer wheels. That'll be fun.
I remember Kelly called me and said, it was late too. It was 9 o'clock at night. And he said, what do you think about combine wheels? Those big tall wheels that for agricultural purposes and it was like, well.
So what do you think about tractor tires on a Gladiator? We're like, what? And he's like, yeah, those 80-inch tall tires. I'm gonna get a set of wheels made and blah blah blah. And we're like, that is never gonna work. You're an idiot. You're crazy. And here we are, 2021, with a Jeep that's gonna have tractor tires on it.
I ended up digging around and trying to buy sprayer wheels, and they were just, because of COVID, they weren't available, and that was around. So I started talking to manufacturers and ended up calling up Chris at Tall Tires and talking to him and say, the conversation's so funny. I'm like, do you know what SEMA is?
Yeah, it's not something that it's kind of out of our element, so to speak, because we're involved in agriculture, we're involved in slower moving vehicles. I mean, obviously some of the sprayers and tractors go 30, 35 miles an hour, but to get into a automotive sector and kind of the off-road type of thing, that was kind of outside the box. And I talked to Kelly a couple of times, and he told us kind of what he was getting after, and I thought to myself, I'm like, well, we really haven't done this before. Let's try something outside the box.
our part of it is one segment of the whole complete package. And, you know, really when you get all said and done with it, it's the finished product that you're really kind of going after, and we're just one step in the way. Obviously, we've got the tire and the wheel, but now it has to be adapted to the vehicle, and that's, you know, that's going to be kind of the exciting part, you know, seeing that completed and seeing the whole thing put together as a finished product.
My name's Sean Williams with Super Trucks USA. Today we've got Isaac and Josh working on a 20 Gladiator, doing a steering upgrade kit, getting this Jeep ready to go to the SEMA show in Las Vegas. So Kelly came to us with the idea of putting ginormous tires on this Gladiator and needed a steering solution because the factory equipment was not going to handle what is going to be put on this Jeep. So we're doing a PSC steering upgrade with a hydraulic assist that will allow it to handle pretty much any tire that you can fathom mounting on it.
What happened after 19, which we all kind of filed in unqualified success because it didn't hurt us and it didn't hurt anybody, and it was just all good and it was all fun, and it got the gears turning, and we started this concept shortly after SEMA, thinking about, you know, the next one called Freak Show Bills. So these are the wheel adapters, and to support these monstrosities.
I remember calling Andy up saying, dude, I need like this wheel spacer thing, and we got to do this, and this is what we're going to do. And, you know, it took him about 7 minutes while he was playing with his kids to cat it up and send it over.
You know, we knew that we had to be hub and lug centric, and so like they're designed, they're really precision fit, and we have mag style recessed lugs that really attach it to the wheel well. And we made them look kind of cool, kind of fiery and aggressive, meat grinder. It's hard to say, like whatever you want to call it, whatever you see that's exactly what. But yeah, we sent them off to laser. It's 1/2-inch steel, scheduled 80 pipe, which is ridiculous, and then a 1/4-inch gusset, these little flame spiky meat grinder gussets to put it all to strengthen it and really align everything. Just seeing all the laser cut parts, it's like, oh, okay, this is gonna work. And then that initial assembly downstairs with Chad and Ken, Kruger Customs.
I had a lot more involvement because I had to weld up the spacers and stuff. So, like, if you see the build, the spacers on like almost like a meat grinder or something. Like I said, it kind of looks like a road warrior type theme.
So I was driving the forklift, and I remember Chad had a tape measure. So we were like, well, let's just see how high we have to put this thing so that we can line everything up and bolt these on. And I was lifting the forks, and he was like, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And we just kept going up until we got wheel center at around 40 inches. And to see how it was just raked up in the air, it was wild. It was wild from my vantage point. And then stepping off the forklift and getting that profile side view, it was wild. Wow, this is crazy.
The only thought I had was, God dang, that thing is up in the air. I mean, if you think about it, you lift the back of the Jeep 40 inches in the air and the front's still on the ground. You're like, holy cow. I mean, it was so high in the air, it looked like you could drive another car underneath it.
And we did it. And then coming around to the front side and getting the front up in the air, same thing. Everything came apart, bolted up flawlessly, lined the wheels up, bolted them in there. And you just kind of step back into it. wow, that was awesome. That was really freaking cool.
But yeah, it looked awesome, and I'm excited to roll it in at SEMA and to kind of be there with the whole Freak Show Builds concept,
and I really believe that people are gonna like it. They're gonna love it or hate it, and both of those things are perfectly okay. But I don't think there's gonna be any indifference. Like it's
just gonna be fun. But it's such a good headliner. I mean, to come back and just basically everyone that clowned us on small wheels, it's like, yeah, okay, we'll change it, and we certainly did. We certainly did.
I bet when I go to college, he's gonna have like a room dedicated to the Gladiator where my room was.
That's great.